I am Jaina Bosonko, and this is Qtv News, coming to you live from our studios along Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and international news headlines. President Barrow is in Sierra Leone ahead of the country's Diamond Independence anniversary on Tuesday. Despite an announcement that it will look into pay and conditions for government workers, nurses and midwives are threatening a sit-down strike over a variety of grievances. A former Attorney General and Justice Minister in the former government of Yahya Jammeh on Monday denied before the Truth Commission that he assisted the government of Yahya Jammeh to amend laws that will favor the government. The Republic of Korea, through its embassy in Senegal and WHO on Monday, presented medical items worth millions of dollars to the Gambia's Ministry of Health. In international news, today is Union Day in Tanzania, marking the anniversary of Tanganyika and Zanzibar coming together to form the United Republic of Tanzania. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us. Now, President Adama Barrow on Monday afternoon arrived in Freetown to attend Sierra Leone's 60th independence celebrations on Tuesday. He is among the heads of states invited by President Julius Maada Bio to grace the celebration. Aliou Cisse has the rest of that.
President Barrow and First Lady Fatouba Barrow landed at the Lungi Airport at 1 p.m. local time to a red carpet reception. They were received by President Julius Maada Bio and First Lady Fatima Jabi Bio. Also present were the Gambia's High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Aliou K. Jammeh, and High Commission staff. Sierra Leone celebrates its 60th independence on Tuesday, having independence from the British on 27 April 1961, led by Sir Milton Magai as the first Prime Minister. The country's post-recent independence journey has been characterized by an unrest and deadly civil war, disasters and health outbreaks after initial years of post-independence peace. However, from 1998 to date, the country has had an uninterrupted democratic government. This is the second time President Barrow is witnessing Sierra Leone's independence, the first in 2017, which coincided with his West African tour to countries that helped resolve the Gambia's post-election crisis in 2016. Among them is Sierra Leone, under then President Ernest Bai Koroma, who was part of an ECOWAS mediation team that was instrumental in negotiating a peaceful exit of former President Yahya Jammeh. The Gambia and Sierra Leone have had a long and healthy relationship for centuries. This is something Presidents Barrow and Bio want to deepen and widen for the benefit of the two countries. The countries share a lot in common in terms of politics, the economy, and challenges faced. There are a lot of areas where the two West African nations could cooperate, such as education, trade, and investment. The sisterly relationship is not just a product of the two countries' foreign relations or their diplomatic ties. It dates back to the colonial days and earlier. During the colonial days, both the Gambia and Sierra Leone were administered by the British. But aside from this, the two countries have a lot in common, as both countries continue to be populated by the same ethnic groups, Mandinka, Fula, Aku, among others. They also share almost the same cultural practices, such as wedding and funeral ceremonies. On the sidelines of the independence celebration, the president is expected to make site visit and hold a meeting with the Gambian community in Sierra Leone. Education has been one of the most pronounced areas of cooperation between Sierra Leone and the Gambia. During the colonial days and the First Republic, so many Gambians earned their post-secondary and university degrees here in Sierra Leone. And this visit by President Barrow is expected to further boost that bilateral ties between the two countries. In 2019, President Bio and First Lady Fatima Jabi were in the country where a similar discussion was held on how to further boost these bilateral ties. Currently, over 6,000 Sierra Leoneans are in the Gambia, most of whom are engaged in education and trading. Reporting for QTV News from the Lungi Airport in Freetown, I am Aliou Cisse.
Lucy said there. Now, the National Executive of the Nurses and Midwives Association on Monday threatened a nationwide sit-down strike if government fails to meet their demands on or before the 28th of April 2021. They're demanding allowance increments and improved welfare. And Sumana Isonyasi has the rest of that.
The timing and possible consequences of a nationwide sit-down strike by nurses and midwives in a country where the health sector remains one of the weakest on the continent could be irreparable, especially in the middle of a global pandemic. But these nurses say they have been forced to react. Among their demands is an increase in the allowance for on-call nurses, which they say is currently $200 per month. They are also demanding improved welfare, more capacity building opportunities, and adequate basic equipment like gloves and bedsheets for their patients. Yusuf Asanyang and Usman Toure, the President and Secretary General of the National Nurses and Midwives Association, respectively, say nurses constitute the largest component of healthcare providers in the Gambia. However, motivation remains a major challenge, adding that they have sent a series of correspondence and proposals and held several meetings with the Minister of Health, the Secretary General and Personnel Management Office to discuss their challenges with a view to improving the plight of nurses in the Gambia. However, their demands have fallen on deaf ears.
Because you have work-related stress disorders, work-related injuries. Even if you are so tired, you can prick yourself with a needle, and you can get HIV from that. And if you get that HIV, hepatitis B, the medication cannot be afforded by a single nurse in this country. So that means it's a death sentence for you.
And if there is no gradual progress in what we see from their words, what we hear from them, in accordance with the actions, we feel that it is just a way to keep us waiting. Delay tactics.
Sanadabo, PRO of the Nurses Association, and Fatumata Gassama, the Vice President, say they are giving government an ultimatum to meet their demands on or before Wednesday, April 28. They also bemoaned the lack of motivation and limited resources and call on government to investigate their plight.
Government officials don't care about our health system. When they are sick, they have the money, they can go anywhere to go for treatment. They leave us here because they don't want to invest much in our health system because they don't care. They don't want to bring their kids and their, themselves to our health system. That's why they are not investing. They don't care about nurses and midwives. That is why I am speaking on behalf of the nurses, in the voice of nurses, that we are giving the government on the ultimatum of on the 28th of this month. And if nothing is done, government will hear from us.
The energy you use running around the hospital to get resources is far more than the energy you put in taking care of the patient. That is what is happening all over the country. And when it comes to health equity in the Gambia, it's zero.
Although we did not speak to the Ministry of Health about the claims made by the nurses and midwives, earlier in the day, government had issued a press release revealing that they are currently reviewing the pay scale of civil servants, including nurses and midwives. However, when this was put to them, these nurses say they are not convinced, as they haven't given the same excuse since last year and are now left with no other choice but to embark on a sit-down strike if their demands are not met by Wednesday. Among the speakers at Monday's press conference was Alfuseni Mane, a senior nurse in charge of the West Coast region, who also echoed similar remarks. Ansumana Isonyasi for Qtv News.
A former Attorney General and Justice Minister in the former government of Yaya Jammeh on Monday denied before the Truth Commission that he assisted the government of Yaya Jammeh to amend laws that will favor the government. Joseph Henry Juve was testifying before the Truth Commission, who are currently investigating the work of the justice system under Yaya Jammeh. Babukar C has the rest of that.
Joseph Henry Juve also served as the president of the Gambia Bar Association and was among the members of the Commission of Inquiry set up to investigate the April 2000 student massacre. The witness narrated how and why the commission was set up to investigate the April 2000 student demonstration. He denied covering up or protecting the perpetrators, but said the orders for the security personnel shooting at the student came from above, according to what they gathered.
Did the commission bother to find out who gave the order for the security forces to shoot the students?
Yeah, we were particularly interested in that question. I think if you look at the report, throughout, we kept asking them, who gave you the orders? Who gave the orders? But mostly, they would come and say, from above. But in the end, we held that it was from the president and probably whoever was in charge at the time, because I believe he traveled.
The witness said even though witnesses claimed the order to shoot came from above, there was insufficient evidence as to who they referred to as from above. He, however, confirmed that the executive received their report but were not happy with some of the recommendations. Joseph Henry Juve said he was later appointed Attorney General and Minister of Justice a few months later, and he wrote a letter to the cabinet recommending that the students should be compensated, which he says did not go down well with ex-President Jammeh. On the amendments made in the Constitution, the council reminded the witness that there were about 30 amendments made during his time as the Attorney General, among which were some controversial ones, including the protection of security officers from prosecution, particularly in relation to the 2000 student demonstration in which students were shot with live bullets. In a long, drawn-out exchange with the council, the witness denied making these changes to favor the government or anyone. He denied being the architect of the laws or amended laws that the state used to suppress people and deny them bail.
So you can see that this particular section was also used as a weapon. Some of the individuals that had issues with the state and were accused of treason.
I
don't think so. It depends again on which side you are. If the government wants to appeal, they have a right to appeal. If the individual loses a case and wants to appeal, he or she has a right to appeal. But that was not the aim of the amendment.
Other amendments made during his time as Attorney General were looked into, but the witness maintained his position that these were not in favor of the government nor anyone. The witness said he had to resign from his position in 2003 as Attorney General.
Principally, I had enough of somebody who did not respect observance of human rights, all the unlawful detentions, and I had other incidents like some of the judges sacked for giving their judgments. Why should you do that? And the children, of course, we said, you must compensate them. Even that amendment said there would be a commission to determine compensation to be given to people. So that was what the law said.
In questioning by commissioners, the witness said he had no regrets over his time in office. He ended his testimony by thanking the commission for the good job they are doing and stressed that Gambians are good at pushing things under the carpet, but said he holds out the hope that the findings of the Truth Commission will be taken seriously, especially in view of the atrocities that have come to light. Babukar C, QTV News.
From that story by Babukar C, we will take a short commercial break. International news is next.
Ramadan Mubarak from Ajib Bank Limited. This Ramadan, when you open a savings account with Ajib Bank Limited, you will receive a free passbook. And when you open a current or salary account with the bank, you will receive a checkbook for free. Ajib Bank Limited is the only Islamic bank in the Gambia, and we share profits with our clients. So why wait? Visit any Ajib Bank Limited branch today and open your savings account, current or salary account, and enjoy the halal beauty of Islamic banking in line with the Sharia. Ajib Bank Limited, your investment partner.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. So instead, we will continue with local news. The Republic of Korea, through its embassy in Senegal and the WHO on Monday, presented medical items worth millions of dollars to the Gambia's Ministry of Health at a ceremony at the Central Medical Stores in Kotu. Babukar Sise reports.
This donation by the Republic of Korea marks another milestone in supporting the Gambia's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. It also demonstrates the closer bilateral ties between Banjul and Seoul. As the world continues to struggle with COVID-19 pandemic, it is important for developing countries with fragile health systems to be supported by partners, especially developed countries. At the presentation, Dr. Desta Terune, the WHO country representative, says the fight against the coronavirus is not over yet and more efforts are needed to combat the virus.
Although we have vaccines at hand, we still have a lot to do. So this upsurge in the number of cases is quite significant, so countries should continue preparing their systems to respond to any event that may give rise to increased number of cases. Gambia is doing actually remarkably well, particularly at the beginning of the outbreak. For the first 4 or 5 months, we are really doing very well. Then we are hit with the first wave around July and August. Then we got better. Now we are experiencing also again another increase. But we have to prepare and do better as we go along. In this regard, we need a lot of support from different partners, and government is doing also its part. And then this, what you see today, is just part of that support that we want to provide to the Ministry of Health. And by the virtue of our nature also, as a global institution, we have been also partnering with global partners, member states, who are willing to extend their hands. The Republic of Korea has partnered with WHO to provide testing kits for the Gambia worth $200,000, which are here actually with us.
Receiving the items, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, says the government and partners are still committed to fight the disease. He urged more support, acknowledging the efforts of the WHO and the Republic of Korea.
Together with our partners, we are giving it that seriousness in not relenting in our efforts to deal with COVID-19. So the COVID-19 response is as strong, is even stronger today than before. Day by day, it gets stronger in the sense that we learn more about the disease, in the sense that we are better equipped every day. We have received quite a number of life-saving equipment on the grounds here in Kotu. Testing still continues. Their capacity has been increased. Their experience has been increasing by the day. However, we need a consistent supply of test kits and the other accessories needed for testing. And here we are today, again receiving a huge number of those test kits to make the work of Mr. Jang and his team easy. We say thank you very much to WHO and the Republic of Korea for that.
Minister Samate thanked all partners, including institutions that supported the country during this difficult time. He also paid tribute to healthcare workers for their tireless service to the nation and the government for its commitment to support the health sector. The Honorary Consul General of the Republic of Korea in the Gambia, Mohamed Jah, who is out of the country at the moment, thanked the Republic of Korea for assisting the Gambia with the much-needed items. Babakar Sise, Qtv News.
Good school facilities and effectiveness of lessons help determine the success of students. However, St. Muluma's Upper Basic School in Basse in the Upper River region is losing its glory due to inadequate staff and facilities. This report is by Fode Mane.
St. Muluma's Upper Basic School was once the pride of the Upper River region. Many high-profile people working at various government institutions pass through here. Today, there are numerous challenges facing St. Muluma's. This include a lack of teachers, inadequate classrooms and furniture. Water shortage and poor toilet facilities are among the most pressing constraints. Unsurprisingly, these challenges have seriously affected teaching and children's academic performance. Ronald Malak, the first head boy of the school and now its vice principal, said the school was known for high standards and academic excellence, but is now losing that status and needs restoration.
A school that is used to be known of let's say registering 1,000 students, is now up to 125 enrolled. So obviously it's telling us that, the trajectory is going down. And restoring this means in order to bring back this standard, we need to work very hard.
The vice principal further outlined the challenges facing the school and called on the government and philanthropists for help.
First, we need to work on, as you can see here, staffing is a problem. That's the first challenge that we have in this school. We live in a world that should be secured. So if there is no fence, students can come from all angles, and controlling will be very, very difficult. Also the garden. The garden is part of the school. It earns income for the school. is one of the basic source that we use for development. So the garden right now, you can see the fence has dilapidated, and then this year we cannot, as I'm talking to you, we did not even do gardening.
Maurice Sambu, the school's principal, said his administration and the school management committee have tried but have not been able to secure funds for the school.
PTA members, they came here, we discussed, they promised to be coming and help. So they came, we list all the problems. We wrote letters, letters and send them to various institutions, but up to now, no avail. Even yesterday, my chairman was here. He told me, yes, we need to go and get a time at the radio station so that we can sensitize people.
The head boy, Mohamed Sanyang, and the head girl, Rose Mendy, both explain how these problems are affecting their education and call for assistance.
We have no toilets here, even for us to urinate. Sometimes a student will go home or till at home to do their things and come back to school. And secondly also, our classrooms. Some of them, I think the buildings are very old. We have very old buildings. And sometimes the court kids, they have holes on top. So when it's time for reading season, they can actually enter inside the class.
It's very hard. Sometimes we don't have books to read and these novels so that we know what is going on. And sometimes light also. We don't have light to come and study at night in some members.
According to the school's management, some ex-students of the school have formed an association and are making regular donations to the school. However, the challenges facing the school are so numerous that this welcome contribution will not be enough to make the required difference. They fear that if help does not arrive soon, these conditions may force the schools closer. Reporting for QTV News, I am Fude Mani.
I'm afraid that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News, but before we take a leave, let's take a look at our main stories. President Barrow is in Sierra Leone ahead of the country's Diamond Independence anniversary on Tuesday. Despite an announcement that it will look into pay and conditions for government workers, nurses and midwives are threatening a sit-down strike, a former Attorney General and Justice Minister in the former government of Yahya Jammeh on Monday denied before the Truth Commission that he assisted the government of Yahya Jammeh to amend laws that would favor them. The Republic of Korea, through its embassy in Senegal and WHO on Monday, presented medical items worth millions of dollars to the Gambia's Ministry of Health. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching.